Maybe we were just very lucky where and when we were born. Because I even look at people that are 5 years younger than me. Prices are going to tank and we're all screwed. No, I try not to bet on that because nobody knows, but I will bet on this. I think long term over 20 years. And she loved telling me what to do. And if I didn't do what I was told, she would spank me. Really hard. And I'm from Halifax. I would die for that place. Now I live in Hamilton. I would die for this city. The people here are amazing. But the city has problems. And I don't make those problems up. Where do I get the topics to speak about? Well, I have ways to go.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of your Complete Realtor. Today we have a special guest, Mike Johnson, who is a big industry disruptor for sure. So we're just going to have a quick chat with him and kind of see how he's being disruptive in this marketplace. So welcome aboard, Mikey.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So before we get into some of your disruptions, because you're definitely good at doing that sort of thing, I just want to give people some context on what your path has been like in this industry, right? So maybe in a couple of sentences, kind of like, when did you get licensed? How did you start? And how did you get to where you are today?
So I used to work corporate. I listened to this real estate investing podcast on my way to work every day. And when I was at work, I would listen to it. And then it was time for me to buy another investment property. So I called the guy from the podcast. He sold me a house. I saw how much money he made when he sold me the house, which wasn't much. The house was only 200 grand, but it was enough to convince me to leave my job and go work for him.
Fair, cool. And so that's what influenced you to get in. And what did that process look like when you got in? Did you go solo? Did you join a team?
No, I joined the guy on the podcast.
Okay.
Barely even knew him. Fortunately, it worked out. So joined a team from day one. I'm still on that team today.
Okay. And are you in charge of that team? Or are you just an agent on that team?
Started out as an agent on that team. Today, I oversee that team.
Okay. And how big's that team, just for context? How many licensed agents do you guys have?
I think we're at 10 right now. I think the highest we've ever been at in Hamilton is 18. Overall, I mean, at one point we had 40 or 50.
Wow.
In a few different markets.
Okay. So I know you did that fairly quickly. So for context, from the minute you were in charge of the team, from the time you started, what's that number of years?
2 years.
2 years. So, I mean, for those of you watching who may not be familiar with the real estate industry, that's quite an accomplishment. So what would you say made you be able to do that? Obviously, that's something that's internal within you. What would you say you owe your success to?
I mean, having the opportunity to oversee the team was just very high sales volume 2 years in a row.
Okay.
It was like 50 deals year one, 50 deals year two. And I think in our industry, a lot of times people assume if you can sell a lot of houses, you're a good leader, which is the furthest thing from the truth.
Okay,
so
let's chat about that.
My business partner obviously had that assumption at the time.
Okay.
Because I wasn't a good leader, and he no longer wanted to be in that role, so he asked if I wanted to do it.
Okay, interesting that you say that. So what do you think makes a good leader?
I mean, I think you need to put the person you're leading ahead of yourself, and that was my biggest challenge. Like to do high volume quick, I think for me at least, I had to be very selfish. So something like this, if you asked me to do this in 2017, I would have been no. 2018, I would have said no. And then 2019, it's no, Mike, you have to do this. And then I would say no, and then your feathers will get ruffled.
Yeah,
I'd probably cave and do it.
No, fair. Now, for people that are watching this, when it comes to, doing high volume sales, because everyone gets into the industry with expectations like, this is easy, I'm going to make a shitload of money and do high volume. And that means different to different people. But, doing 50, 60 deals a year is, by any standards, super high volume. What kind of a person do you need to be to do that kind of volume, you think?
I mean, someone like you can't, you have to put your feelings aside, I would say.
Okay.
Learning how to convince somebody to sell your house causes a lot of people a lot of anxiety, and it caused me a lot of anxiety too. But I just asked myself, what's most important? Is it, I'll be totally transparent about this, is it making a lot of money? Or is it showing up to someone's door asking if they want to sell their house and shaking because you're behaving like a coward? So I would ask myself that constantly. And after a while, if you put in enough reps, if I ask enough people, do you want to sell your house? Do you want to sell your house? Do you want to sell your house? No longer is it scary.
So it's not so much being not having feelings. I think it's just letting go of the outcome and just keeping an eye on the bigger picture.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Like, I was extremely regimented. Like, in the office, my day was crazy back then. I lived in Toronto, so in the car at 6:30, stuck in traffic for an hour and a half. In the office by 8. I think I would script for half an hour, hit the phones at 8:30, and then in the beginning I was going all the way until 7 because I had to leave at 7 in order to avoid the traffic.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a 10, 12-hour day.
Yeah, and it was it was literally just me on a dialer asking,
Just making calls.
do you want to sell your house? Do you want to sell your house?
So it's interesting because a lot of people, especially nowadays, get into this industry, look for the easy button, what tech, what gadget could do this, what gadget could do that. And yet you came into the industry in modern times with high tech, but you still just picked up the phone and called people.
Mm-hmm.
So the method to old school still works if you work it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of the key takeaway for some of you guys watching is that, everything works. You just have to work it. You have to work it enough times.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to do it 4 times and there's no results. I'm done. But you're
No,
doing
no,
it for 10 hours a day.
This is off topic, but I think the number one thing that will make anyone succeed is this. So you got mad at me the other day, or you corrected my behavior.
Okay.
We'll say. I don't think you were mad.
Okay, we're gonna hop into this on
My
camera.
response to you was, thank you. I'm the type of person that likes to be told what to do when I'm doing something wrong. Or if I'm moving into a new space where I have no experience, I would love to have someone there that has done it already that can just tell me what to do. So I mentioned to you, that's been missing in my life a little bit recently. That's why I appreciated that. But I had a coach very early on, and she loved telling me what to do. And if I didn't do what I was told, she would spank me. That's really hard. And that I think is why I made all those calls. I was told to do it, and I did it.
And you are very coachable. I mean, contrary to popular belief, sometimes people look at some of the big performers in the industry and they think it's just a magic pill. And I would say, especially with you bring your own energy. You don't need to be motivated. You have your own reasons why you want to do it. And I think that's true with all high performers. And I think the second part is you're very learning based. Like, you always want to learn and you're very coachable. Somebody comes in and says, look, there's a better way to do it this way. You don't ask questions. You just run with it.
Yeah.
And I think that is something I wish I saw more in like new people coming into the industry. Everyone's so attached to how they do things or who they are versus just, zip it, listen, and do it, right? Because if you do that, you'll see success quite quickly.
Yeah. Like, I think there needs to be an understanding that when you start, you know nothing. And then there needs to be research put into who am I going to accept guidance from? Who do I think can help me get there? Like, I did that with Sandy, for instance. I didn't do that with you, but I have Googled you, and I have learned. This Mike guy's here, and I don't know who the hell he is. So I Google, I do some research, I ask around, and I'm not doing that because I'm deciding whether or not I want to be your friend. I'm doing that because I know if you're one of those people in my life, I can get a lot.
Yeah.
By getting close.
Well, thank you. And vice versa too, right? I mean, I think that every relationship needs to be always symbiotic,
Mhm.
right? You know, if both people aren't winning in some way, shape, or form, then it becomes a biased relationship which is eventually doomed to fall apart.
Yeah.
I truly believe that, right? But I appreciate you saying that. Um, I want to get into how I started the conversation about you are disruptive compared to normal standards of the industry. You like to go outside the box naturally, and you're not afraid to go outside the box or apologetic for it. Um, and I love that about you. Like I really look up to you for that, because I think so many of us get stuck on what's everybody else doing and do that. And the problem with that is if you do what everybody else is doing in the industry, you just become invisible, right? And especially recently with the launch of your YouTube channel, you've been doing a lot of disruptive stuff that's getting traction. You know, what kind of drove you to go down that route?
Say necessity. Like I don't think what I was doing before doesn't work anymore, but it doesn't work for my life. I have 2 kids at home, a wife, a pretty busy life outside of work. I can't sit for 10 hours and call people anymore. I can't go prospect in the traditional sense the way I used to. So first thing I stumbled upon was advertising. As the market shifted, we got absolutely crushed. And I realized that there are some people in this market that didn't experience the same amount of pain as I did. They're not at our brokerage, but like all the big guys on the billboards, I've met most of them. I respect them a lot. And I noticed the shift that I experienced was significantly more than what they experienced. And that put a bug in my mind. Maybe advertising, although I used to discount it, maybe there's something there. And I just started exploring it. So what I stumbled upon is that you can spend not that much money on running ads and get your face in front of, my face will be in front of millions and millions and millions of people this year.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that happen, especially with your YouTube channel. And what has caused you to, and a lot of people are out there trying to be influencers, trying to do different things on social media, YouTube, that kind of thing, but they're not getting the traction you're getting. And I think it's because you're, in a way, being controversial. I'm going to use that word, which I don't think is a bad thing, by the way. What caused you to go that approach and not do what all the other influencers are doing?
So I read a lot of books, and there are a couple of people I've spent a lot of time reading about, and it's Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. I'm not going to get into a big spiel about investing, but there's one principle or philosophy they have, and it's being contrarian. So the stock market's going up, all the sheep in the world are buying those stocks. Buffett's got his money parked on the side.
Yep.
When the market tanks,
you go in and you buy.
Plows his money in and loads the truck. And then 10 years later, he looks like a genius. So it's called being contrarian. So when I started the YouTube channel, I just asked myself, what is every realtor in town saying to their clients? And I know exactly what it is. The market is fine.
Yeah.
You can do well right now. And I'm not sure how they're doing it, but I know they're saying now is the best time to sell, because that's what we do as realtors.
Yeah.
So every single thing that would come out of a realtor's mouth, I just thought, what's the opposite of that?
Right.
And that's what I say. So your realtor is telling you everything's fine. I see the stats. I'm not lying. The market's pretty bad right now. Right?
And you're right, but you're right though. Like, here's the thing. Our industry as a whole has this problem of always generalizing everything, trying to find, the positive spin on everything, and trying to apply it to all people. And the reality is, and you've seen that, is that no, the market's not fine, right? Is it a good time to buy? For a select few, absolutely. Right?
Yeah.
For people that have to sell, well, it doesn't matter what the market's doing, right? But I totally agree with you that too many people are just making this super positive pill that is not right for everybody. Everybody's in a different situation. You got people that are behind in bills. You got people that have equity because they bought it in 2017. So even though the market's dipped, they're still financially okay. And yeah, the market's not the greatest, but for some people it is. And for some people, it's definitely not good, and tread with caution.
Yeah.
Right. And in some of your videos, though, and perfect setting because we're at Gage Park, by the way.
Yeah.
You've really kind of came down of like, hey, well, everybody's telling you to buy in Hamilton. I'm telling you to get out.
Yeah.
And Hamilton's become this and becomes that. And if you, for those of you that haven't seen it yet, go on Mike's channel and watch some of his videos. And I know some of it's clickbait, and that's cool. But I think there's a lot of legitimacy to your comments. Right? Do you still feel Hamilton is this great city that it was 8 years ago?
So you'll notice something about me. I'm on the same real estate team for, I don't know, 8 years.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone else that's been with one group that long. Same brokerage.
Yeah.
I have the same wife.
Very important because most realtors can't say that.
Same kids. So I would say I have a high level of loyalty. I'm from Halifax. I would die for that place. Now I live in Hamilton. I would die for this city. The people here are amazing. But the city has problems. And I don't make those problems up. Where do I get the topics to speak about? Well, I have ways to go through Reddit forums and then into YouTube and through Instagram to see what are the people of the city talking about. And
or you can literally drive around the city or walk around. And let's face it, I too love the city. I came here from Toronto. Never left.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. It's like, yeah, we got some challenges.
Yeah.
Right? And the funny thing is, those challenges are existing in every major
100%.
metropolitan area across, not just the country, across continents. Like Europe, major European cities are going through the exact same thing Hamilton is going through.
Yeah.
Right. But I applaud you for having the courage to point them out publicly and say, hey, yeah, this is what's happening. You know, is it a reason to leave for some people? Yeah, maybe they should.
I think so YouTube's really interesting. As realtors, we think, let's put out content. So I'm interested in certain aspects of my business and my life, so I'm going to put content out about that. That's great, but YouTube is a business that's owned by Google, and it's there to entertain people. So the only thing you need to know about YouTube, they want you to keep people on their platform for as long as possible. So they can sell ads to companies. So that's all I'm doing.
It's no different than watching normal television.
Yeah, that's all it is. Now, there are a few components to that. Title and thumbnail get the click. Without the click, you don't get the view.
Yeah.
Once they click it, so that's why you see some of my thumbnails are super aggressive. And people paint me with that brush. But no, full disclosure, you won't click if I don't make a ridiculous thumbnail.
Absolutely.
And then once you get in the video, you need to put I call it a nuclear hook.
Yeah.
So something that almost grabs the viewer by the throat and throws them into your video.
Watch it. Yeah.
And then from there, it's all about retention. So you just keep them on the video as long as possible.
Now, for those people that have only seen the thumbnail, that haven't seen the full videos, haven't really seen the actual message that you give, because I've seen them, and although it's clickbait, it's whatever, and they are real issues. You know, that you're talking about when it comes to the city of Hamilton. You know, obviously watching all your videos, there's a better message at the end of them, right? And so for those people that are watching this now and haven't really seen your video, you know, what's your true opinion of the city of Hamilton? I know you said you're loyal, and obviously we got problems. What do you think are the two major problems that we have, and how we ended up with them? What's your take on it?
I mean, we have this housing crisis where we don't have enough houses. Yet on the flip side of that, we have too many. Like, we see the inventory numbers. We have too many houses at the price they're at today.
Yeah.
I'm not an economist. I don't know the root cause of this, but I'm knee deep in the world of real estate investing. So during the pandemic, homes, along with everything else, went up with inflation. Money was so cheap that it became very desirable for investors to buy property, renovate them, refinance them, do it again and again and again. Unfortunately, to play that game, you often need to displace tenants. And then at the very lowest rung of properties, where do they go?
Yeah.
They went to the tents, I think. Like,
Yeah.
where else would they have come from? 'Cause when I got to Hamilton, you could rent a unit for $800. Now a beat up unit is $1,500.
I mean, I came to Hamilton in 2012 and I bought a detached house in Rosedale,
Yeah,
King's Golf Course, for $225,000
yeah,
in 2012. For some people, that sounds like a long time, but that's not that long. You know, it's more than 3 times that after the pandemic adjustment in price.
yeah,
You know, so affordability, I think I agree with you, is the affordability of everything, not just housing. I think just, you know, to live in Canada, affordability of everything has probably been one of the biggest problems that our city is suffering.
The unfortunate thing too, of my life since I've been paying attention, like we've seen inflation slow down, but do prices ever go down? Like, has the cost of eggs ever decreased?
Well, no, and that's the funny thing, right? Because a lot of people think that the inflation rate is, you know, inflation's at 6%, let's just say, or is at 2%. What that means is that prices are rising at that percentage, right? Unless inflation has a negative to it, like a negative 6%, that means the cost of those items went down. But when inflation stays at 2%, all it means is that the prices are here and will continue to climb at a 2% basis, which is considered normal, right?
Yeah.
And you're right, you know, when prices go up, very rarely do they come down unless there's a strong economic or demand force, right? You know, when you look at consumables like groceries, they can't go back, right? And then, you know, labor costs, you know, once you start paying somebody $20 an hour, you can't turn around to them 2 years later and be like, I'm going to have to knock you down to 15.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
You lay them off.
Right. It's exactly what will happen, right? So we can't go back. So you're right. And with this topic, I think we're going into the perfect way to wrap it up. You know, because inflation has gotten to where it's gotten, affordability for all things are where it's at. You know, a lot of people are like, you know, this real estate market's been dropping and dropping. What's your take? Do you think we'll continue seeing prices decline and sales decline, or do you think we've bottomed out? Do you think we're in for a climb? If so, when? Like, what's your opinion on it all?
Prices are going to tank and we're all screwed. No, I try not to bet on that because nobody knows, but I will bet on this. I think long term, over a 20-year time horizon, which is probably the healthiest perspective to have, prices will be higher than they are today. And I think if you observe a lot of other countries that have existed for a lot longer than Canada, the expectation to own simply isn't there because it's not affordable. I would not be surprised if Canada in the future becomes a society where more people rent.
And that's a very sensitive topic for Canadians to swallow.
That's sad. We both have kids.
You know, because it is true, though. You know, the minute you leave Canada, you look at so many countries in the world, Brazil, China, England, even Portugal's going down this path. Spain's already there, where, you know, home ownership is more of a privilege, not a right. Everyone has a right to have a home.
Yeah.
Having a home and owning real estate are two different topics worldwide, right?
Yeah.
And as the Canadian dream, it's always, you know, go to work, you know, pay your bills, one day own a house, have your kids do the same. And the reality is that most of the world actually doesn't function that way, you know, and it could mean that Canada, we're going into that same path as Brazil and Western Europe, where there's the haves and the have-nots, not just with real estate, in many different forms. And it's hard pill to swallow, but it is a natural course of civilization, really. Yeah. Where that path is kind of a reality.
Maybe we were just very lucky where and when we were born. Because I even look at people that are 5 years younger than me. And I know the message is often save up, eat less avocado toast, kill the Starbucks, you can do what I did. Yeah. It's not true. Like when I got to town, I was buying $200,000 homes like hotcakes, like constantly.
No.
And now that same house is $600,000.
Yep. But again, I mean, I get that, but I still think there's still an onus on an individual to, regardless of the arena that you show up in, to choose whether you're going to play ball or not.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's countless of stories of someone coming from nothing and being very successful, millionaire, or even billionaire, right? So I think there's an onus on the individual as well. Are some people lucky? Yeah, I believe people are blessed, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I still think that everyone as an individual has a responsibility of their own destination, or destiny, I should say. You know, and that can come in all shapes and forms, right?
There are, I think often too, it's often, it's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. Like I look back to myself, I lived in Toronto, I was priced out, so I moved. I didn't even know what Hamilton was, like, but I bought a house there a week after.
Yeah,
you can still do that. Like, if you can't afford here, buy something in New Brunswick.
But then again, it also comes back to the onus of the individual, right? Yeah. You know, most people are like, but I don't want to leave here. It's like, okay, well then if you want to stay, accept the circumstances.
But how about this? How about like the house I bought in Hamilton? I didn't live in it.
Yeah,
I bought it here, rented it out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I personally know agents and individuals that have chosen to start buying properties in the U.S.
Yeah,
you know, and even parts of Europe. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but even in this market, you know, last year I had a young couple, first-time buyer couple. She was 28, he was 32. They bought their first house in Burlington. Both come from blue-collar families. And they bought it with 20% down.
Yeah.
A young couple like that. But these are two individuals that from their cashier days at 16, 17 have been disciplined and penny pitching. It's like, yeah, mom and dad, blue collar lifestyle's been great, but I want more.
Yeah.
And they just happened to meet and became a couple, and they're building something beautiful with it. Right? So I think the opportunity is there for everybody in Canada, in this market and whatever markets to come. But I think it's still up to the individual to step up to that opportunity at whatever cost it is, right?
I think too, when you're young, you don't understand how much a choice like home ownership could impact you, either positively or negatively. Like, I've been probably thousands of homes in Hamilton at this point. I've met thousands of people. I've met 90-year-old homeowners and 90-year-old renters. Let me tell you, being a 90-year-old renter who's rented their whole life is very hard.
Yeah.
I had a client similar to your people, 20% down. The guy's 23 years old. He got overwhelmed about the process of buying a house. I remember saying to him, just promise me this. You can be overwhelmed in this moment, and you cannot buy a house with me. You cannot buy a house in the next year. I don't care. But we're both into AI, me and this guy. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT something. What is the average net worth of a Canadian homeowner versus non-homeowner? And it was like $1,050,000 if you owned a house, $60,000 if you were a renter your whole life. So in order to escape the rat race or matrix or whatever you want to refer to it as, like that has been a very good vehicle for us to do it.
And you know what? And for those people that want to have that argument, because that is an argument that's online all the time, the cost of home ownership versus renting, and go back and forth. And my counter argument with people with that has always been the same. It's like, even if the math was equal, like even if owning a home or renting a home was the exact same over a 30-year lifespan, you have zero security when you're renting.
Yeah.
Right? Because although you're renting for $1,500 a month, assuming a 2% inflation on that rent payment over 20 years, yeah, that's simple math. But realistically, where the insecurity comes in is you're living in that home for 5 years, your kids just started this great school, landlord comes in and says, I'm putting the place up, you have to move.
Yeah.
And now you go back to the marketplace. So now you're homeless with your family, your kids, never at a convenient time, because it never happens at a convenient time in your life. And your rent just went from $1,500 to $2,200 a month.
Yeah.
Right. So even if the math was to be the same, renting versus owning over 20 years, at least with home ownership, you have that security that you move when you decide versus sleeping in a place that is your home that at any moment someone can decide to sell and you're homeless.
Yeah.
Right. So on that note, I think that's a great way to wrap up. Thanks for coming in. For those of you watching, where can they find your content? What's your YouTube channel?
Selling in Hamilton.
Selling in Hamilton. If you want to see Mike Johnson's crazy thumbnails, I promise you'll enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.